Moving away from the US election for a while, I will be commenting about the social impacts of everything that's going on in a later video, but I want to talk about another important issue, which is the press. Unfortunately, these damn ulcers are still playing up, so it's a little painful to talk, but I do think this is important. Um, a while back, I made a video about the power of the press, manipulation, distortion, the sort of behaviour that they engage in. Well, there's a sort of gossip story that has emerged which really highlights just how loathsome their behaviour can be. By they, in this case, I'm talking specifically about gossip rags and tabloid newspapers. There's a young woman who is supposed to be dating Prince Harry. Prince Harry, of course, is fifth in line to the British throne, younger brother of Prince William, in case you don't know. Now, Prince Harry has spent his life in the public eye, so he is used to fame and he is used to a certain amount of pressure that comes with that. And for right or wrong, that is the case. But this young woman, as I understand it, she's Canadian. I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna talk about any major personal details because all I would be doing then is fueling the gossip. But suffice to say, she's Canadian, and as I understand it, she's mixed race. Right. Well, the Daily Mail had pictures of her in London. And these were blatantly paparazzi pictures because they were, you can tell by the angle, it was, she was walking down a street. She obviously was oblivious to these photos. This is an absolute invasion of privacy. It's got nothing to do with free speech. And it just shows the disgusting behaviour of tabloid newspapers. Prince Harry specifically said, please respect our privacy. In fact, please respect her privacy. He said this very politely, in a very civil manner. Personally, far more civil than I would have been if someone was harassing my girlfriend, but there you have it. Of course, Harry has to be. If Harry did respond sharply, which he would be well within his right to do, they would have then accused him of having an anger problem or something. These people are shameless. Don't forget they killed Princess Diana to all extents and purposes. The paparazzi killed Princess Diana. It is true that her driver on the Paul was well over the limit. That did not help. But paparazzi are basically criminals. No one can rationally argue there's any sort of free speech argument when it comes to the paparazzi because it's not about speech. It's not about having an opinion. It's about an action. And basically, there is a word for this. It's stalking. Now, if this was anybody else, if this was any other young woman, the perpetrator would be arrested. Let's say you have a Joe Average who decides to stalk his ex-girlfriend, sends her threatening texts and so on. He would be arrested for harassment, and rightly so. Why is this any different? I really don't think there's any difference between a young woman or a young man being harassed by a stranger. And it's supposed to be okay because either they're famous or they're connected to a famous person. This behaviour disgusts me, and I personally think we need to have much, much, much tougher laws on these scumbags. I believe they should be arrested on sight. I just think they're the scum of the earth. I do hate them, and I don't. I'm not glossing that over. I'm not beating around the bush about this. I hate them, but there is public responsibility as well. Don't buy tabloids. Don't buy gossip magazines because they fuel this. The likes of Paul Dacre turn around and say, "Oh, we are legitimate because people buy our publications," and they believe that amounts to accountability. The truth is, the likes of Paul Dacre just don't give a damn. Tabloid editors are people without souls, without a conscience. I think they're some of the most despicable people around. I really do. I think I really do think they're among the lowest of the low. The only people I think are worse are terrorists, paedophiles, child killers. But I cannot emphasize how much I think tabloid editors are loathsome. They really do destroy lives, and they are They're just creeps. They hide behind the Redditor's desk and never have to face the public. I guess 99% of people wouldn't even know what Paul Dacre looks like, but the likes of Paul Dacre have enormous power. Enormous power. And what he has done is conscientiously chosen to allow these photos. So if you kind of think of it like organized crime, you have Al Capone, right? Just to make this analogy, you have Al Capone, who's the big head honcho, the big boss, Lucky Luciano, Al Capone. Immensely powerful, feared, and respected. It's a false respect, but they're respected because of the fear. Then at ground level, you have the street thugs, who rough people up and so on. Well, the tabloid newspapers pretty much operate the same way. Paul Dacre and his kind are Al Capone. The paparazzi are the street thugs. There really isn't much difference, except the tabloids don't, for the most part, they don't physically murder people, but they do drive people to suicide. They ruin lives. They have zero accountability. I think they're the scum of the earth. And people might think I'm overreacting, but I really believe it is appalling that in 2016 we think we as a society tolerate a young woman being stalked. And we do tolerate it because people buy these magazines and newspapers. I personally believe the only way it ends is if there's a collective protest, and I don't think there will be, but if there was, to punish these bastards so that the likes of Paul Dacre really, really feel put into a corner. And that's the only way it ends. Also, much, much tougher law on the paparazzi. That way, it will starve these tabloid rags of the material. And I will say this, and I mean this wholeheartedly. If I'm in the public light, I'll understand that there's a certain amount of pressure comes from fame, and there's a certain amount of exposure. I will accept that. But if I had a loved one, say a girlfriend or a wife or a child, and I found out that a paparazzi was stalking them, and if I saw them, I would lay into them like I would with any other man. I would lay into them. I would seriously hurt them. And I'm not saying that to be bravado. I'm not saying that to make out that I'm some sort of hard man. I'm saying it because I mean it. I shit you not. I would do that. And I wouldn't give a damn how it looks. I would do it. If I was a politician, would it cost me re-election? Possibly. Would it cause me controversy? Yeah. But I would turn around and say, well, wait a second. I am a man. I'm defending my lady. And that's it. A man has to do the right thing. And I'm not, by the way, criticising Harry for his response. I'm just saying that for me, I don't know if I could keep that cool. I do hope he sues their worthless little hides off. I really hope that Harry presses charges here. Because that photo that I've just seen, it's a paparazzi's photo and it's stalking. That's what it is. I may well write to the Home Secretary actually, and raise this issue. It's not a free speech issue at all, and anyone that says it is deluded. I also might write a very nasty letter to Paul Dacre, but that won't change a damn thing. Um, that's the thing. Tabloid editors are phantoms. They have no accountability. I mean, you can write to politicians to complain about things. They at least are publicly accountable. They have office addresses. Tabloid editors have no accountability. Yes, you can write to a newspaper, but there's no personal way to get in touch with a tabloid editor. I think that's wrong. I think these people need to be grilled far more often. They're gangsters, and that's all they are.